welcome back to another episode of Underdog Podcast. All right, today's topic, the modern parent. That's a subjective topic, right? It's not necessarily objective. Some people might see it one way, some people might see it another way. For me, the modern parent is that parent that understands their parenting in today's time, not necessarily worried about or trying to keep up with certain traditions or, this is how I was raised. You got to always tweak it. When we're talking about raising children, you got to think about how children perceive the world and the world that they're in. Like, I know some parents rather not have their kids be on social media. I know some parents, rather their kids not have the technology, the iPads, cell phones, things like that until a certain age. Me, I'm not that person. I allow my kids to have, I'm in a split household anyway, so I have custody with their mother as well. So there's times where I needed to communicate directly with my child or my children. So that's when my oldest, my daughter, she had a phone. So I can go ahead and always get in contact with her. And then I can circumvent talking to their mother because, I ain't fucking feel like talking to her. This is real. This is honest. But it makes me think like the video that I had gone up that went viral and people were like, oh, you shouldn't be recording her. They had no clue what the fuck they were talking about. I showed that to my daughter. We bust out laughing because she wasn't concerned about being recorded because she understands that this is what parents do. We all put our children up on the internet and things like that to be in videos and stuff like that. Some is private, some is public. Really doesn't matter. Really doesn't mean anything because once it's digital and on the internet, and if you know anything about networking, it's always fucking there. Nothing is deleted. It just gets scrambled up or whatever. So my daughter being in that video saying, oh, don't record me. She's talking about because she wasn't looking her best. I say air quotes, but she's looking her best. That's what she was feeling like. This girl has been on fucking social media since she's been on TikTok before TikTok was TikTok. She was back on TikTok when that shit was Musical.ly, music.ly. So her being on those things is not even a thing for her. But I consider myself a modern parent because I'm parenting in today's times. I still keep up with traditional values, things like honesty, integrity, loyalty, being respectful. Like these are concepts we all can agree on because we know this is what needs to be in our species as we function in society and grow our civilization. But I'm not going to sit here. For me, I'm not going to be like, don't be on this app or don't be on this app. I try to teach my kids how to use these apps and how to use social media and how to use the internet properly. I try to teach them to be like, hey, this is what goes on. Got to look out for pedophiles. Can I even say that on TikTok? I just said it. Doesn't matter. You got to look out for pedophiles. You got to look out for, things like that or people trying to scam you, people trying to take your money. I try to teach them, hey, be aware of these things. Because for me, I'd rather my kids be aware of things and then learn how to make proper decisions and also learn from any bad decisions or any mistakes. It's not, to me, not about keeping them isolated or away from certain things. I think I seen a TikTok video the other day, and this woman was talking about her and her boyfriend when they decide to have kids, they're not having their kids on social media because they see the comments and everything like that. I get it. I agree with that to a certain extent. Like a couple years ago, my daughter said that she wanted to have her social media be public. And now I think about it, I don't know if it is or not. But I told her to just keep it private because I knew that she wasn't ready to handle people saying certain things to her in the comments and stuff like that. And I know that certain things are like, don't need to necessarily be seen by children at a certain age. And I can understand that context. But I'm also like, you can expose them to certain things at a certain time based on their mental age, right? Because depending on the household that they're in, My kids live in a divorced household, so they have to do a little bit of thing. They have to have a little bit more independence and accountability because it's just me and them. So I need their help on certain things. So there's a little bit more. They're aging mentally quicker than necessarily their physical age, and also along with their peers in school and stuff, their mental age is a little bit more. My daughter tends to have friends that are a few years older than her, but because she takes on responsibility that kids older than her typically would take on the household. My children need therapy. I appreciate you saying that comment. I think you're a fucking idiot though, but it doesn't matter. So, anyways, and that's the thing too. Like, what to think that therapy, you don't even know my child to. First and foremost, I don't even know why we're even replying or responding back to a person named feminist goose. Like, the fact that I was trigger only proves it. No, I just happened to read your comment and I was like, because who says your children need therapy? Did you even listen to everything that I said from the time I started the stream, the podcast, or just the fact that you're triggered by it? Laughter deflection is actually a scary level of emotional intelligence. Lack of. See, and this is why I know I will have subscriber only chats during my podcast. But this is good. This is good. Well, what makes you think my children need therapy? No, if you're gonna continue to keep commenting, or did they leave? I can't tell. Oh no, no. I'm a licensed credentialed therapist, and your children need therapy. Okay, but what makes you think my children need therapy? No, I've never been to Dover Air Force Base. I've never been to Dover. Let's unpack your defensive response. Are you going to answer the question? So, because you're a licensed credentialed therapist, you think my children need therapy, but do you know my children? I'm trying to figure out what makes you say that based on what? Your actions in this live alone means your kids need someone to talk to. So you have no clue what you're talking about. You're going off of no information at all. You're just saying things. I just want to know what makes you come up with that idea. I assume you have children yourself, feminist goose, with no pro. It's all the motherfuckers with no profile picture either. You notice that? It's always the motherfuckers with no profile picture that would say just say shit. Like you put a face behind your comment. You just gave me so much information in how you spoke of your children being emotionally older. Because I said they're from a divorced household and thinking that's a brag and not a sign of emotional abuse. Oh, so I'm emotionally abusing my children. I have upwards of 10 accounts, sweetie, and toxic men ban me for doing my job. How can you get banned for doing your job if your job is a licensed credentialed therapist? Are you a licensed credentialed therapist on TikTok? Men are always a problem. That's cool. Well, I mean, with a name like Feminist Goose, I don't expect anything other than this type of response. But go ahead, continue this, continue this. This is good. I mean, it's good content, but this is good. Correct. It shadow bands WOC. Is that women of color? Is that what that WOC means? Okay. 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 So, well, how do you think I should parent my children, feminist goose, with no profile picture? Because if you feel like I'm emotionally abusing, man, I'm actually crying, laughing. This is funny. But if you think I'm emotionally abusing them, people love to. make an assumption off of. I want to know more, feminist goose. How would you profile? How would a profile picture help you assess my informed responses? I'm just saying, if why you have no profile picture? To me, it seems like if you're gonna be commenting on the internet and stuff, but you don't want to show your profile, you don't want to show a picture of yourself. You want your opinion and voice to be heard, but not a face attached to it. Why are you so hung up on an image of a woman? Well, I mean, how the fuck do I know you're a woman? If there's no profile picture, it could be a fucking this some fucking random man or something like that. I don't know. That's plain objectification. I don't know if you're fucking with me or if you're serious. At this point, I have no clue anymore. I can't tell if you're fucking with me or if you're serious. I done completely got off topic of everything I was talking about, but why does my gender? Because your gender doesn't matter. You brought this shit up. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is oh my god. Whatever. I think if you go back and read the chat, you can see that you brought it up because I was definitely talking about, how I'm parenting in the modern age or whatever. Are you really failing to see the lack of your logic? I'm not failing to see the lack of my logic. I'm trying to understand like where you're coming from. I'm trying to understand in the small amount of context and information and you seeing me how you can make such a leap of assumptions and then at the same time say that you're using logic behind that when and then you say men are always a problem. How can you be so absolute on a statement like that when those statements cannot be absolute? So you're saying 100% of the time men are a problem when children have issues? Is that what you're saying, feminist goose? Men should not be parents without required therapy. You're fucking with me. There's no way you actually believe this shit. There's no fucking way you believe this. You have to be fucking with me. You're just fucking with me. You have to be. You have to be. You oh my god. Oh my god. You have to be fucking with me. You have to be fucking with me. Do you believe that do you believe that only women should raise children and men should not be involved in raising children at all? Feminist goose? Yeah, I just that's just you can't say that's a fact. Only women and most people should not be parents, period. Oh, I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree. Wait. Do you have children? Did I ask that already? Did you answer that? Maybe I missed it. Do you have children, feminist goose? I'm sure you do, but I'm just double checking. Because I know you wouldn't be. I believe you wouldn't be talking like this unless you had children, I believe that you wouldn't be talking like this. Obviously, you're a licensed therapist and you have your credentials and everything. Why would it matter? Okay, I thought we was having a conversation. I thought we was debating here or whatever you want to say. So I just want to know if you have children, because then I would want to know what type of tactics or what parenting skills are how do you parent your children? Yeah, so do you have children? Because what doesn't regardless whether you have children or not, how do you believe children should be raised? Then conversing and debating should not be interchangeable language for you. Okay. Well, how do you believe children should be raised then, feminist goose? Can't black guys. Feminist goose. That's a good name when you think about it. Because could you argue the fact that, of course, but it doesn't matter. Children should be raised by a select experience group. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that? What do you mean by select experience group? Because to me, experience would come from those who have kids, or I guess yeah. We say teachers basically raise your children currently as a former school teacher. Do you like us as black people? I like you as a person. Your race, ethnicity, culture, all that other stuff. I try to like human beings because we're all one species. Almost all men experience children from the first time with their own children. That's bad. Well, what about men that are coaches? What about men that are pastors? What about men that are priests? Although some of those pastors and priests do inappropriate things with children too, so that's not a good one to say. Because I would think that, are we trying to say that teachers are mostly are females? Do you think being a coach is the same as parenting? I think that coaching does, when you're dealing with children, some of those tactics go along with parenting. I say that because, well, I'm a coach too. I coach basketball, coach girls basketball. Feminist goose. How you feel? How you feel about that, feminist goose? I'm a man coaching girls basketball in high school. Teachers are mostly women. Many other issues there. Yeah. Well, because you would think teaching, nurturing, uh, nurses, those tend to be more of the feminine energy in a sense. I would. Could you? Why would I have a problem with you doing that unless you yourself have an ulterior motive? I know you're just fucking with me. Fuck. I know you are. There's no way that you actually think this shit. There's no way, man. There's no way. Because if you actually think some of the shit that you're saying, oh my God. Feminine energy you're describing is just socialized children and gender norms, what I was talking. No, no, no. You said, show me some, tell me some of your yeah. So tell me some of your philosophies on how children should be raised. Do you feel like women are better at disciplining children than men would be at disciplining children? I I personally don't have a preference, but I'm just curious as to your thoughts. Why do you think actual psychology review data is effing with? Well, because I'm one of those people where I don't necessarily trust the science because I literally know for a fact that science is bought and paid for. Because I do know actual licensed therapists in real life that actually literally are licensed therapists at major university and deal with children. All discipline traumatizes children. So when you think of discipline, feminist goose, do you think of discipline as yelling or in an aggressive manner? Children don't need discipline; they need boundaries. But is that not the same thing? No, I'm a scientist. No one I know is bought or paid. Oh yeah, well maybe no one you know, but how do you get your grants approved? It has to be something that someone wants to fund. So for you to be a licensed therapist, or you to be a research therapist, or clinical therapist, or anything where you're doing research stuff like that, you gotta get your grants approved, and people are gonna approve grants and things that, well, that they can profit from. But that's just economics. That's business, which I believe universities are a business anyways. In what way would you discipline and boundaries? In what way discipline and boundaries be the same? Well, if you set up boundaries, then is it not self-discipline for that child to not cross those boundaries? Do some basic research on Grant Ryan before you speak. Okay. So I'm personally responsible for dismantling every systemic issue. I don't I don't know if you feel personally responsible, then you feel personally responsible. I was just still trying to figure out what the fuck you're talking about. And where you coming at? Cause I mean, you told me I'm emotionally abusing my children. So if I'm emotionally abusing my children, exactly, yeah. If I'm emotionally abusing my children, what do you think I should do to help raise my children? Seeing that you know me and my children, because you're a licensed therapist. Yeah. No self-discipline. Self-discipline has no place in this discussion unless you feel lack of control. But you said discipline and boundaries, and I said, well, if boundaries are set, then it's up for a child to be self-disciplined. I would think that boundaries and discipline go hand in hand. Most parents are emotionally abusing. Now that's a fucked up statement to make. That's a generalization. How can you say most parents are emotionally abusing? And she put "are" all capitalized. Emotionally abusing their children is not a personal attack unless you react. Motherfucker, you just attacked me. You just told me I'm emotionally abusing my children. How is that not a personal attack? I don't feel no type of way because I know you don't know me. So for me, it's hilarious. You teach children through your actions, so you are teaching your children that they are not worthy. Oh my God, this is so comical. Oh my God, this is so comical. Just, I can see you all too well, sadly. Do I remind you of someone in your personal life or someone that you have personally came across in one of your therapy sessions? Because that's what I feel like. I feel like I remind you of someone because in the manner in which you're able to psychoanalyze me so quickly with limited amount of information, no real context, and no real interaction with me, it just seems like I must remind you of someone and because of the way I act. Is it my language? Do I cuss too fucking much? Is that a thing? I'm a basic case of toxic masculinity. I you know what? You know what? Let me see that. Oh no, where is it at? Oh no, it's right here. It's right here. It's right here. Nice round of applause for feminist goose. No one has ever called me a toxic man. I have never heard that used with me that I have toxic masculinity. But thank you, feminist goose, for being the first person to tell me that. You know what? I almost feel like it's a badge of honor at this point. Literally just the same as every fragile man. And how am I like every what makes you think I'm a toxic? What gives off my toxic masculinity? Is it like the aggression in my voice, or do I come off as an aggressive stand? Is it my language? You're joking, right? Women actually tell you that you're a good guy. Actually, feminist goose, yes. All my fucking life, all my life, that I'm a good guy, that I'm the nice, quote unquote, I'm the quintessential nice guy. You don't hear aggression, you only hear fear. Oh, you know what? Who's, oh, this is gonna be good. Oh shit, no, no, no. I didn't mean to invite her. I didn't mean to invite her. I hope she'll accept it. I read that wrong. I thought she was inviting me. Whatever. So let's unpack one instance in which women in your life called you a nice guy. No, because the topic we're talking about modern parenting. So we'll keep it for that. But you know what? If you will want to, we can talk about this another time. And by another time, I mean on my time. And by that, I mean probably not with you, but whatever. Because no one has called me a nice guy once. Oh my God, this is going to be a good clip. This is going to be a good clip highlight. I appreciate the content. I might have to send you some gifts or something. Maybe do your live stream or something because I appreciate you at this moment. Well, you asked a question because if I'm a toxic man, so raw off the bat because of my toxic masculinity, you think I should? So you think I shouldn't raise my children at all? Oh, I have more views on my videos than yours, sweetie. Okay, that's you know what? For that, we're gonna give her yet. We're gonna give her some cheers and a nice round of applause. I didn't know we was comparing views and competing and stuff. You definitely got me beat. I mean, I need therapy in order to properly raise. Well, I have been to therapy. Actually, I have been to therapy twice. Feminist goose. I've been to therapy twice. I've been to therapy in 2012 and I went to therapy in 2019. Yes, twice. Yes. Been to therapy. I was going through a divorce, so I went to therapy for that. And when I got out of the military, I went through therapy to handle being in the military and stuff like that, and then all the other things. Therapy worked. The things that I'm using in the things that I use now, some of the tactics I learned how to help raise my children stuff, I learned in therapy from the VA. One of the few things I actually appreciate about the government, even though government sucks. Did they trigger your defensiveness too? No, no, no. In therapy, we talked about handling situations. We talked about things that might trigger us from our military experience, from being deployed overseas, stuff like that, or being in combat situations. Well, not direct hand-to-hand combat or fire and stuff, but indirect uh, mortar strikes and things like that happen on our camps and whatnot. We talk about things like that. Was one of the tools I use to raise my children. Oddly enough, feminist goose, discipline. Discipline, discipline, and boundaries. Open communication. So with my children, feminist goose, I have open communication and dialogue. I talk to them about things. I talk to them about different, things that go on in their life. I encourage them to speak openly to me and speak their opinions and to keep it respectful. As long as they're having respect, as long as they're being respectful when they talk to me and we talk to each other, I'm always encouraging that open dialogue. I say, hey, I'm doing this. How do you feel about this? Or hey, I know I got on to you about this one thing. How do you feel about it? Do you want to talk about it some more? So that's one of the things I learned, feminist goose. What is the conversation you recently had with your daughter? The conversation I recently had with my daughter, feminist goose, was let's see, this morning. Oh no, last night. Because she asked me, she wanted me to take her to school early, so because she felt like she needed some more tutoring in science. So I was like, okay. I was like, I'm very proud of you for recognizing that on your own and taking the initiative to do that on your own and being motivated to go out there and do those things. Yes, but you aren't even communicating the way you speak, so I doubt you're effectively communicating. Well, if you feel that way, that's on you. If you feel I'm not communicating with you, my children would say otherwise, feminist goose. I'm pretty sure their friends, my parents, will feel otherwise too. But you make some interesting points. And by interesting, I mean things that really don't make sense, but I get what you're trying to say. How's your lack of communication skills on me or on your children? That is your responsibility, not mine or theirs. So you just think that my communication skills are not good at all. I mean, well, I'm confused about everything that you have said because you don't know anything about me. So more or less, why wouldn't you just take the time to just listen to what I'm saying before you just ran your mouth off in the chat? Sounds more like cognitive dissonance. Definitely poor emotional communication. Well, yeah, I know you believe I have poor communication skills and that I'm being defensive and that you said something else about me too. You have literally told me so much just in the way you're interacting. Yeah, yeah, I probably have told you a lot in the way I'm interacting based on how you perceive me in a limited time. And for the most part, I've been mocking you this whole entire time because I think you're hilarious. I still don't know if you're fucking with me or not. I still don't know if you're actually being serious. You literally have told me, yeah, 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 because you were being defensive. That's just truth, not attacking. You literally came here and attacked me. You came in and said you're emotionally abusing your children. So you're saying the statement that I'm emotionally abusing my children was not attacking me? I don't take it as an attack because you're irrelevant to me. I don't really know you, but I could tell that you were coming in the chat to be attacking. I'm mocking you because it's hilarious. Now you might not like my form of comedy and my humor, which I'll admit my humor isn't for everybody. And a lot of sometimes I have dark humor, and sometimes my jokes are sarcastic, and I'm an asshole. I definitely admit that. You can call those character flaws. I say I enjoy being that person. Why would you be an emotional child such as yourself be capable of raising children? You know what? So, do you think my children deserve to be with their mother instead of being with me? You're not neutral. You came in completely biased, so you can get that shit out your head. I don't hear any humor. All you did was respect my. All you did was repeat my words and laugh. You didn't make any jokes. No, I made jokes for me to laugh, so I thought it was fucking funny. Which it is what it is. How is laughter at my words humor? Because your name is Feminist Goose, and you came in here with almost a quintessential stereotypical feminist mindset. You immediately started saying I was a toxic man and stuff. And you immediately started saying I'm emotionally abusing my children. And you started saying all men are bad parents. Like there's no way you're using logic as you told me I'm not using logic. Right? Right. Neo, you hear this shit, right? There's no way this shit makes sense, right? It's not just me. Even my categories, you're not making no fucking sense. So I told you that I coach girls basketball and stuff. Do you think so? You have to think this has to be a correlation, a direct correlation. If you think I'm emotionally abusing my children, do you think I will be emotionally abusing the girls that I coach too? Because I'm pretty sure their parents would say otherwise. I know this for a fact that their parents would say otherwise. See, this is the problem that we have. in society. Like people will come in and say things and comment and stuff like that, which is fine. It's great. I invite these type of things. But then it makes you wonder, do people just say shit just to say shit because they want to say shit? Or do they have an actual objective? Or are they actually trying to have dialogue and conversation? Or, do they want to debate things? Or do they just want to come in and say stuff? Because not once has a feminist goose really came out and said, oh, well, this is how children should be raised in this manner, and this is how children should be and stuff and whatnot. And not once has feminist goose came out and said, oh, well, this is how I raise my children. Feminist goose that just came into the chat and just started saying a bunch of shit. But we appreciate feminist goose and anyone else that wants to join the chat when I decide to leave the chat open and stuff and talk about those different things. But the way I parent and the way I do things and stuff won't always be for everybody. And there's never one correct way to parent. There's never one correct way to parent. And for all the parents out there, parents will make mistakes. It's a learning process. There's no instruction manual because not only are you, the individual, different as a parent, our parents, the children themselves are different in their own individuals. So you have to kind of cater your parenting style and the things. It always has to be fluctuating. Like the way you parent and the way you, the way you parent and the way you raise your children always has to fluctuate and do different things and stuff because you never know exactly what will be the quintessential perfect way because everyone is evolving. If things are happening correctly, everyone is evolving. Parents evolve, children evolve. We're in the modern times. So you have to kind of stay aware in the moment and be focused in the moment, in the present. Be aware of yourself, be confident in who you are, be confident in your children, teach your children to be aware and be confident, be assured of who they are. That way, as you're raising them and as you're talking to them and stuff, it's not necessary. It goes more from being a direct a direct manner where now, okay, we're working together and we're trying to figure out how we can evolve as human beings. But that's all I got for right now. So until next time.